Okay, so today we're going to do something a little different. My normal videos that Brooks and I do are suppressor and gun related. They're over on our suppressor channel, which you can just search Thompson Machine Sound Suppressors on Google, YouTube. You'll find it. I thought I would show you guys what I do on a Saturday. So the current project, which you probably saw in the intro leading in, is a 2009 CRF230L. So I bought this motorcycle on the cheap from a neighbor. Was 250 bucks with a title. It looks like the back brakes were roached, which is why it was parked about 5 years ago. The plan with this, because we have very little in it, is just to kind of make a rat bike. This is everything off that's not necessary for this thing to operate. The fenders, the headlight assembly, the speedo and instrument cluster, all of the plastic, both the flares that were on the tank and the side plates. In getting rid of that rear fender, I also did away with the liner that allowed the electronic ignition to stay up out of harm's way. But we're going to be building a new pan under this seat and relocating the battery and as much of the electronics there as we possibly can. Alright, so as you can see on this side of the bike, we have the bulk of the electrical system exposed. We've got the battery in a box here. Now this battery is about 4 by 6 inches and about 3 inches thick. I'm going to attempt to lay it down in the pan under the seat so it's hidden. I've got to get the electronic ignition module up there somewhere. And I need to get the rectifier regulator somewhere where air can flow over it, but it's not tacked to the side of the bike with all this wiring. There's the connection for our taillights and turn signals, which we'll be incorporating in this thing. Our electronic ignition, battery, starter relay, and a few fuses. So the plan is we're going to tuck all this stuff under the seat in a nice aluminum pan and clean up the back end of this. And we're going to neaten up this entire harness at the front end of this. Another thing we're going to tackle is I'm going to bob this thing and get rid of this rear protrusion that incorporated the mount for the tail light assembly. All that's gone now, so really unnecessary. And getting rid of the air box, I put on a K&N filter. There's another video that details the carb rebuild, so not going to bore you guys with that. Okay, so we're going to head in and weigh all the crap that I pulled off this thing just to see what the weight reduction was. So I'm guessing I have stripped 25 pounds worth of junk off. What does all the shit weigh? I thought we'd take a gander at exactly what we took off the bike and see what it weighs. I guessed 26 pounds a little earlier in the video, so I've moved all this stuff into Brooks's office and we're going to weigh it. Don't anybody show him this video or tell him about it, because I don't want him to know we had all this greasy crap in his office, motorcycle parts, etc. So we'll start with the airbox. Pretty beefy, 1 pound 3 ounces. Factory air filter. And the top cover snorkel assembly. Some hoses off the evap canister, the plastic sprocket cover, which I'll be machining one, a billet one, which will be an episode all unto itself. The instrument cluster feels like 1.5 pounds by itself. The front turn signals, which also include brackets that make up part of the headlight mount. That gross drain tube off the box. The air recirculatory valve. Bracket that holds all the wiring harness under the headstock. The ignition switch, pounds 9 ounces. A clamp. The bracket I cut off. Speedo cable. 7 bolts, which I'm guessing is about 1.5 ounces. Alright, that was the smalls. Let's go for the big boy. This is the factory Honda silencer. This one still has the spark arrestor installed. I'm guessing every bit of 10 or 11 pounds on this sumbitch. Rear turn signal, headlight shroud, headlight assembly, and the weird duckbill mud flap tail light tag holder reflector. A flap, another rear turn signal, a bracket off the front fender, and rear fender. That brings us up to 24 pounds and half an ounce. Not quite my 26, I guess, but hot damn am I happy. Okay, so the tires are in pretty good shape. I'm sure they're a little hard. I know it's been at least 5 years since the bike has run, but they don't have any dry rot or cracks, so they're gonna stay on through the initial part of this low buck build. In addition to taking off headlights and the like, I'm going to be removing the horn and cutting off all the tabs on the frame that are not necessary with my current build, just to clean things up. We'll be trimming things like the tab off this tank. So I can't think of much else for this intro video into what I'm doing with this motorcycle. Alright, so like and subscribe to this channel and you can watch more of the stupid stuff I do to a perfectly good motorcycle. And thanks for dropping by.